I'm Nicole Holcomb, attorney by day and podcaster by night, a former educator, school counselor, and administrator, and mom to a 9-year-old daughter with dyslexia, who loves all things Harry Potter, Minecraft, and science. A few years ago, she was identified with dyslexia, and our life seemed to turn upside down for a while, quite literally. I created the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast to help you navigate the upside down journey of dyslexia. You got this. If you're wanting to thrive as a mom in this dyslexia journey, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. You are listening to the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast, episode 60. I'm your host, Nicole Holcomb. Today, I'm talking about dyslexia support groups. If there's one thing moms raising children with dyslexia have in common, it is that this journey can be very lonely. Children with dyslexia are often said to have an invisible disability. To the outside world, our children appear just like their classmates, and many of our children actually stand out because of their strengths. What people don't see, that invisible part of the disability, is the hours spent at home struggling with homework, the meltdowns from just the day being so long and stressful for them. Not to mention the struggles they have actually learning how to read. It's often hard to explain to our friends and to our family how your child is struggling and how you feel as a mom related to parenting this child with dyslexia. It's hard for them to relate, right? Do you feel this way? Well, let me tell you, we all feel this way at some point in our journey and maybe throughout our journey for many of us. There is a way to get the support you need and want, and that's what I call your dyslexia tribe, your support group. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to text or Vox a friend to share a morning struggle, or maybe to talk through that book report project that had a lot of writing and your dysgraphia, your kiddo with dysgraphia really struggled, and you were really struggling because there was no alternate ways to complete that assignment? What about you're just discussing an upcoming IEP meeting, or maybe you're going back and forth discussing some local choices as it relates to private schools or private tutoring? Wouldn't it be nice to have that person or a community around you to support you in a positive way? So you may be wondering, well, how do I go about finding my tribe? How do I find another mom who gets what I'm going through, who can support me and I can support her? Well, 3 types of dyslexia support groups come to mind. The first is that you could join a Facebook group. There are many different Facebook groups out there. I'm going to give you some suggestions. One is to find your local IDA Facebook group. So IDA stands for International Dyslexia Association. You have probably heard me discuss IDA in previous episodes because they have an amazing information on their website and lots of resources. They also have local state chapters where you can go and be a part of their Facebook groups. And so you can look for those on the Facebook groups app there. I also have one. It's the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast community. That is also a private Facebook group. And you'll see others as well. There are some that are for parenting children with dyslexia. There are some that are like homeschooling with dyslexia. And you can also find even local ones, like your local city or county, as far as support groups in your area. And those can be very helpful when you're looking for local tutors and you're looking maybe to connect with a mom locally. So let me give you a couple cautions though. As you go looking for Facebook groups, really think about the credibility of your group. Really think about the tone in the group. The great thing about a private Facebook group is you have to apply to become part of the group. And so the administrators in the groups do have specific rules for their participants in their groups. And this is a good thing. So when you get into some of those groups, choose a few that you think you might be interested in. I would start with the IDA. I would love to have you in the Dyslexia Podcast Community Facebook group as well. And then find some local groups, Facebook groups, and see, what you think about them and how they feel. If the tone is more negative or not something you're interested in, then, by all means, you can leave that group. Just keep in mind that you have to be selective about Facebook groups. There are a lot of misinformation out there. And so as you're looking at those, just keep that in mind. And if you see things that you're not, doesn't really seem like to be a good connection for you, then you can always leave that group. But you also can find some amazing support and information in those Facebook groups and connect with people locally that you might not have otherwise. A second type of support group could be to join a private dyslexia parenting community. Now, this would be a paid-for community, but not expensive. Many groups will offer monthly or even an annual fee for those communities. One that comes to mind for me is Mastering Dyslexia Community. It's another dyslexia parenting friend of mine, Jen Woodward, and she has an amazing community for moms raising children with dyslexia. And her community is about connecting parents, also talking about dyslexia being positive, providing resources, and also I love the piece about balancing chaos of your life with mindfulness tools. You may remember Jen was on episode 28, and she was talking all about parenting dyslexic children. And so I'll put a link in the show notes so you can go back and listen to see if Jen is someone that you would like to be, to get to know and to be part of your community. And then the third one is create your own mom tribe. So you can connect locally or virtually with other moms that you identify with. So how do you go about finding your own group? Well, you could look for moms that you connect with at your child's school. You could look for moms in some of those Facebook groups that we talked about. Maybe you find someone that's local, or maybe you find someone that has a post that you start engaging with and you realize you have a lot in common with them. So maybe you start talking offline, off of Facebook, or maybe through some instant messaging to get to know each other better. Another place too is to follow the hashtags in Instagram, Dyslexia Mom or Dyslexia Mom Life Podcast, my podcast. There's different things you could put there, and I have met amazing people through that connection of Instagram as well. So there's a lot of ways you can get creative to kind of connect with people and start talking with people virtually and then offline personally. So you can really be proactive and create kind of your own tribe of people. And the part of this that's so neat is you can be, like I said, proactive. I think of this as kind of like an accountability partner, but instead it's your Dyslexia Mom Tribe partner, right? It's someone that you can rely on and they can rely on, because part of this process is also you serving others. A support group or a person goes both ways. They will be there for times when you need them, and you'll be there in other times when they need your support. So you will provide that support. So it really is a relationship, but it is such an important relationship, because without that, you do feel alone and you do feel isolated, especially right now. I'm recording this and we're still in the pandemic. And for some states, students are still virtual, and so moms are not getting that connection that they need face to face. And so we've got to be creative, but we also have to find people that we feel like are good supports for us, that are positive, that's going to hold us accountable when we need it, but they're also going to be there to say it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. And I have to tell you, I've met a lot of amazing people through this journey. The dyslexia community is a supportive community as a whole. Yes, sure, there's a few, bad apples in any group, but you know who you connect with and who you enjoy their message and their brightness and what they bring to the table. And so don't be afraid to reach out to someone that you feel like you have a connection with. Just start a casual conversation with them and then see where it goes from there. You really will be able to connect with people. I talked to someone just last week, and we're going to have like a 10-minute conversation about the podcast. We talked for an hour and 10 minutes. We just immediately had a connection. You will find that too. You are not alone. You got this. And you are not alone on this journey. Find a positive and uplifting community, or find you that dyslexia mom who can be your partner, your accountability partner, and who can be your support partner. You can find links to all the support groups that I mentioned today at dyslexiamomlife.com/episode 60. Have a great week, and remember, you got this. Go out and find your tribe.